Good morning. Good morning. I pray that all is well with you guys. I am Serafina Monique and I am back with a quick word for you guys on today. Okay. So if you guys haven't already, like and subscribe to my channel as well as hit the notification bell so that you don't miss out on anything. Okay. So I ask that if this word blesses or encourages you in any type of way, for you to share it with someone else so that they can be encouraged as well. Okay. So today, you guys, I just wanted to speak to you guys about knowing who you are. Okay. Knowing who you are. So, no, we have to know who God says that we are. Okay. You have to know who you are because when you don't know who you are, we have to know who we are in Christ, because when we don't know who we are in Christ, we will let anybody put a label on us. Okay. Anybody can put a label on you and you'll just be walking around thinking you're this and you're this and you're this. It's like, no, you're not this. That is not who you are. Okay. This is who you are in Christ. Okay. God said this about you. God said that about you. Your royalty. Okay. So we have to come into agreement with who it is that God said that we are. We have to come into agreement with who it is that God said that we are. And in terms of coming into agreement with who God said we have to come out of agreement with who the world says we are, or sometimes who we ourselves say that we are, because sometimes we speak negatively over ourselves. Okay, we come into agreement with things that are negatively spoken over us, and it's like we have to learn that, just because you have certain traits, that doesn't make you a bad person. Okay, so just because you get upset, that don't make you a bad person. Everybody gets upset. Everybody gets upset. Okay. It's an emotion. It's a natural emotion. So if you didn't get upset or angry, then I would think something was wrong with you. Okay. So it's not about getting upset. It's not about getting angry. It's what you do with those emotions. Okay. So a lot of times we come into agreement with things and it's just like, um maybe you get your anger from your daddy, and it's like, no, you don't get your anger from your daddy. You get the way you react to your anger from your daddy. So that's not something that we want to come into agreement with, because what we want to do is we want to figure out healthy ways to handle our anger. Okay, so we just need, so it's not like your dad was a bad person because he didn't know how to handle his anger. It's just saying you have those traits. So being angry is normal. Getting angry, getting upset, that's normal. But what you do with those emotions is what's important. So come out of agreement with the negative things that were spoken over your life. Okay. And some of you guys may have been told you ain't gonna be nothing in life. You're not gonna be anything in life. You're gonna be just like your mama. You're gonna be just like your daddy. So and it was meant in a negative way. Okay. So come out of agreement. Again, we may have unknowingly came into agreement with the negative things that were spoken over us. So I just encourage you to come out of agreement with it and come into agreement with what it is that God says you are and who it is that God says you are. God says I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. God says He's going to make me the lender and not the borrower. Okay. So whatever it is God says about you, that's who you need to come into agreement with. Okay. Okay, so what we need to do to come out of agreement with those things, we need to first identify them, because so many times we don't we don't realize that we've come into agreement with things. Okay, or we don't realize that we do things a certain way, or we're moving a certain way, or that's not healthy, or whatever. So what we first have to do is first identify those things. Okay, so let's go back to the anger. Okay, so yes, I get angry. That's normal. Okay, so identify it and acknowledge it. Acknowledge it. So accept it. Accept it. And this is where we lose things, because it's like we can identify that there's a problem, but we'll, instead of accepting that there is a problem, because before you can change, you have to accept that there's a problem that needs to be changed. Okay, so before you can fix something, you have to first identify that something is broken. You have to acknowledge that it's broken, and then you have to work to fix it. Okay, so many of us, we identify the things. We identify that the way we move is foul. We identify that the way we handle our anger is a negative way, that we don't handle our anger in a positive way. We don't have a positive outlet for our anger. We identify that, we see that, but then we'll lie to ourselves, or we'll go back to this. Well, I get it I get it honest. I get it from my daddy. I get it from my big mama, or whoever you get it from. Okay, and then we have people that's excusing you because you get it from your mama, or because you get it from your daddy, and it's like, no, that's no excuse. Okay, so acknowledge it. People don't want to. A lot of people don't want to acknowledge. And I feel like I'm saying two different things. I'm. It's okay. So identify that there is a problem. So most times we identify it, we know it, we can see it. So two is acknowledge it. Acknowledge it. So okay, I have a problem with anger issues. Acknowledge it. Accept it. Okay. And now that I have acknowledged it and I have accepted it, now I can work on fixing it. Now I can come out of agreement with it, because this isn't the way that I want to handle my anger. This isn't the way that I want to handle whatever it is. So I want to come out of agreement with that. And I want to come into agreement with more positive things, or more positive outlet, or I want to come into agreement, with who it is that God says that I am. Okay. I want to come into agreement with who it is that God says I am, and know who you are in Christ, so that the world won't put a label on you. Okay. So when you don't know who you are, honey, people will tell you who you are, and you will begin believing them. Okay. And sometimes people, it's a trick of the enemy. The trick of the enemy is he don't want you to know who you are, because if you know who you are, you'll begin walking in your purpose and acting like you know who you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, I know who I am. It's like, when you come out of agreement with what the enemy has said about you, and you come out of into agreement to what it is that God says about you, you'll have this, and you know who you are in Christ. It's like, you will want to walk and talk and live in a way that's pleasing to God. So the enemy don't want that. Okay. So the enemy wants to keep you blinded. He don't want you to know who you are. Okay. So you are a child of God, honey. You are a child of God. You are royalty. Okay. So when you find out who you are, you know that there is certain things that you can't do. Okay. You know that there are certain ways that you can't move. Okay. And all this comes from you knowing who you really are. Okay. So it's like, I'm not this regular smuggler girl. I'm a child of the Most High. I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. So it's like, no, there are certain things I can't do, certain places I can't go, certain language I can't use, you know, because I'm royalty. I'm representing the Most High. You're royalty, sweetheart. You're royalty. You're representing the Most High. So I encourage you to walk, talk, live in a way that's pleasing to God. Okay. So are you going to get it right all the time? No. Okay. But there are certain things, there are things called avoidable sins. Okay. So know who you are and know whose you are. You're royalty, sweetheart. You're royalty. And it don't matter. Like if people are like, because when when you change and you realize I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't I can't talk like this. I I can't do this. And then it's like people might feel like you're acting funny, or I can't watch this. I can't be around this. And people may feel like you're acting funny, or that you're bougie, or whatever, whatever. You changed. And it's like, yeah, I did, because I realized who I was. Okay. So when you realize who you are, walk like it, talk like it, act like it. You're royalty, sweetheart. You're royalty. And it's not you that you're representing, because you're not your own. Okay? You've been redeemed, bought with the price, honey. You belong to God. You have been bought with the price. Okay? You have been bought with the price. And you're not your own. Your life is not your own. So you can't just be out here doing whatever it is that you want to do, like it is your own. Okay. So that is it, you guys. I just want to encourage you guys to come out of agreement with the negative things that has been spoken over you. Okay. And know that you are a child of God. Know that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. Okay. Know that you're royalty. So walk like it, talk like it, act like it, act like you know it. What's that song? Girl, you got it. Act like you know it, honey. So act like you know it, sweetheart. Act like you know who you are. Matter of fact, know who you are. And when you know who you are, you'll act like it. Okay? So again, know who you are so that no one can tell you who you are. So what we're going to do to come out of agreement with things, with the negative things that has been spoken over us, or the negative things that we have spoken over ourselves, we want to identify it. We want to acknowledge it. And then we want to come out of agreement with it. And we want to come into agreement with what it is that God said that we are. Because when we take something away, we want to replace it with something that's positive. Okay. So we want to come out of agreement with that. And then we want to replace it by coming into agreement with what it is that God says about us. Okay. So that is it for today, you guys. I pray that something was said to help you guys along the way. And again, if you haven't already, like and subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you guys don't miss out on anything. Okay. Again, if this word has blessed or encouraged you in any type of way, share it with someone else so that they can be blessed and encouraged as well. You guys enjoy the rest of this day. Be blessed and be a blessing.